Yeah.
Okay, Yossi, start.
Okay. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so we are here. We have not done a call like this in a very long time, but this is something that we felt. Me and Menachem were talking about.
Oh, you muted. You muted, buddy.
Yossi, I muted you by mistake. I'm sorry. Okay, there's a
You hear
few
me?
people. Yeah, everybody should stay muted. If not, okay, everybody should stay muted. Okay.
Okay, so just to get started here, we haven't brought anything to the community in a long time. And based on what we've seen in the past couple weeks, we said this is a must. We really have to bring this to our community and get our community involved with this. It's just been a couple weeks, but this is something that we really, really see, and we really believe that this is something that's long term, and this is something that we can all participate and do very, very well with it. So, without any further ado, Brian, if you're there, Brian introduced this to us.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And great guy and great leader, and puts in time and effort, and we thank you for all you do, and thank you. The floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. I am at a restaurant, so I'm not going to talk long, and I live in the Dominican Republic, so it's a little crazy here sometimes. There's some crazy motorcycles, but so my backstory is I've been in health and wellness for about 15 years. Thankful to a guy named Michael Beal that's on this Zoom tonight. I've been friends with him over 20 years and watched him make 7 figures in the industry of health and wellness and different types of programs. And then from there, I got into cryptocurrency, and I really dove in hard. I learned as much as I could, and it was at the middle of July. Mike put me on with Lynette. You're going to hear from her in a few. And she went over the tokenomics of this, over, how it's not a pump and dump, how there's no, back end liquidity, like liquidation of it. Like basically how this is a system that she created, she paid for, and that she wants to basically change the industry into something that is around crypto, and then almost not even have an MLM part to it, which is cool. But right now, if you're on the Zoom, we are early adapters, and we do have that chance to build a team, which is cool. But soon that will be, different. But I've known Mike for years, and he knows that I know crypto and I can really pick apart things. And it's been less than 30 days. I have 1,000 people on my team. I love the process of how this works. I love MetaMask. I love how simplified the system is. Once you get setting it up, it's through the blockchain, so everything has to be submitted by itself, which I love that too. There's no beating around the bush, and you'll see more of that as you go. But Mike Beal, I've watched him make 7 figures. I mean, he's made more than. We're from a small town in Missouri, guys. Like we're just 2 country boys, and now I live in the Dominican Republic. But if it wasn't for him showing me this, I wouldn't be here today where I'm at and have this lifestyle to just work from my phone. So, I follow him, and I appreciate everything he's done and watched him throughout the years. So Mike, I've known him for over 20 years, and he's known Lynette for over 20 years, the creator of this project. So the fact that we have a decentralized ecosystem here, it is phenomenal what we have. So Mike, I'll just let you introduce that, and thank you for being on too. And
Brian, I want to thank you for all the hard work you put in and sharing us, or introducing Yoshi and the team and all you guys here. Guys, I've been in this industry of direct sales for a long time, since in the late 90s. Actually 94 I got introduced to the industry, and I love it because we're in control of our life, our destiny. We can help other people. We made a lot of money, and we've been involved with a lot of projects and everything, more so in the health and wellness space, but also in the crypto space. And I told myself that we've been in several projects that we thought were legit. We thought that was going to be there for our connections and people we care about, and we got them involved with stuff, and it didn't turn out the way that we thought, right? And I told myself I would never get involved with another crypto project and everything like that. It would just basically be invested in some crypto. But then I got introduced to a video for one of my buddies posting online on Facebook, and I saw it and I heard the voice and I was like, oh my gosh, I know her. And that was Lynette. I've known Lynette for, gosh, a while as well. I just remember Lynette just being a brilliant mind when it comes to numbers and math. And once I really saw this program she's going to share with her, not a better person to share with you what she's created than her. Finally, a smart contract done right, or the way it's supposed to. And once you hear what she's put together, you're going to feel the same way we did. It was a no-brainer. And since we've started, like Brian said, we put close to a little over 1,000 people in our organization, helping people, helping the average person get rewarded on something they're already doing. Because everybody you know walks, everybody you know gets out of bed, goes to the bathroom, goes to the kitchen, goes to work, goes to the park, walks their dog. They can be rewarded on something that they're already doing. And it was just a no-brainer. But once you see how they set this up, how it sustains itself, it's just a brilliant concept, and the way that she's actually developed this. So I'm going to keep it quiet. I'm going to end my portion on this because I want you to really hear from her and how this project works. And Lynette, I want to bring you on, and I want to thank you for all the hard work that you put into this, the money that you put up for this, your baby, and it's just brilliant what you put together, and just in a short amount of time, just the stories that we're getting from people paying their electric bill and stuff like that, just walking, that never made money in anything else. It's just a beautiful thing what you've created, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for this as well. So I'll let you take it over and share with everybody, what you put together here.
Thank you. Yeah, and I have to tell you, it's been so much fun too, working back with you again, Mike, and all of the, a lot of people that I've known over the years. But the bottom line is this: I've been involved in crypto since 2009, and just like everybody else, I had to learn as I go. One of the things that I guess I'm good at is math and numbers, and was advanced calculus. Okay, not trying to make it sound like I'm smarter than the next, but math has just always been my strong point. When you're looking at, anything in the financial world, it's all about math. And so it used to drive me crazy when I'd watch these projects come in, and you get excited about them. They sound good, they look good, they hype them up, and they really convince you that they've got it under control. And then 3 to 6 months later, they're gone. So I really had to go back to the drawing board, because that's what I do. I like to tear things apart. I like to put them back together again. And so we got started with Bitcoin. I mean, that was the introduction to the crypto world, and it's a blockchain. What is it about a blockchain that allows them to be self-sustaining and to be solid? They're not gone in 6 months. Well, it's the ecosystem. You have to have an ecosystem. And there's a lot of other things too that projects do wrong. One, you should never have a pre-sale with a project. When you do that, you've just created a massive dilution of the market already, and you've already created too many in supply. You don't even have your project developed yet. You don't even have an ecosystem in play. And then you have to have a use for that token. If you don't have a use for it, the only thing you're going to do is buy and sell. That's it. There is no other, no use for it outside of that. And then you've got to have an ecosystem that peer-to-peer community is able to use to sustain that project. None of your projects that come out today have that. None of them do. And they all pretty much fail, or they just become about worthless when it comes to your token. Outside of blockchains, it's really hard to find projects that last for the long term. So I took about 6 months really tearing down different projects and, building into this one exactly the way it needed to be. The first thing I wanted to do was, what is it? With crypto, you always need to solve a problem. And you always want to be able to open it up to a global platform, everybody. So you don't run out of an interested community of people. And we all move. And obesity is a real major problem, especially over here in the United States. And it's the precursor to all your chronic illness and disease. And being in my 50s, I use an Apple Watch, a fitness watch. And I've worked with different project developers and creators. And, there's technology behind NFTs. They're more than just a JPEG. And so I wanted to create a miner that would work with proof of physical activity, which we've coined that term, proof of physical activity, where you would do hash mining. You're generating hashes based on the level of fitness that you do. I didn't want it to just be outdoors or to include workouts. I wanted it to encompass all 24 hours, because your fitness, your sleep, the calories you burn, all of that is important in your health. Plus, being able to mine 24/7 is also beneficial. I know that some of the other move to earns, you can only, do that mining for like 10 minutes at a time before you got to boost something, or it only includes your steps, or you have to be outside. So with our project, it's all 24 hours. It's all your fitness. And we do, like Mike said, we have all kinds of really great testimonials, health wise and financial wise. People that are losing weight, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, they're feeling better, they're feeling younger, you know, they're happier because they're feeling more healthy, but now they're also making really good money, which is motivating, and it incentivizes them to continue to move more, because the more you move, the more you earn. So then what I had to do was I had to make sure that what I was putting together, hold on, I've been talking so much today, I'm losing my voice. A self-sustaining ecosystem, a use for that token, no pre-sale of that token. Everybody starts at the same level with the lowest powered miner, which is at 50%. And this whole project is gamified. It's also 100% on chain. There is not one person who is managing this, who's the custodian of your funds. Everything you do is done instantly in real time, and it is recorded to the blockchain. And I know sometimes because I know it so well, obviously, because I'm the person who put it together, but I overtalk. So if I start to confuse you guys and I jump around, stop me. And I only have till 9. So I'm going to try to make it really quick here, because I got to jump into that other Zoom. When you get started, you mint your miners. Minting the miners, and this is a really important thing I think that people need to understand too, because we've all been in different networking opportunities and they've always failed, because when people stop coming in, when the influx of new money stops coming in, the company either fails or the project fails. And so the one key thing I had to make sure when I created this was that it didn't rely on new people coming in. Yes, right now we're building the community. So obviously we're out there sharing it. We're building that peer-to-peer community. That's, important right now. But at some point, when you get to a leveled off, pace where maybe it's 30,000 people, maybe it's 100,000 people, maybe it's 1 million, and they're not coming in quickly, bringing in, that new money that people talk about, what happens? So we had to keep the minting of the miners outside of the ecosystem. It doesn't play a role in the sustainability of this project. It only has 2 purposes. One, it does pay a referral commission for people who are helping us to build the community. And the remaining amount of MoveQuest that you use, which is our native token on the Avalanche chain, goes back to the vault. It goes back to the vault because we mirror Bitcoin tokenomics. There's a max supply of 21 million. And there's only 2.6 million each year that is going to be mined and going into distribution. And then it does a halving, and then it'll only be 1.3 million, another halving, and it just keeps going until the year 2059, when only 28 MoveQuests per day can be mined. When we remove that MoveQuest every time a miner is minted, what it is doing is it's putting it back in the vault, so that in the year 2060, when it does a halving and it's only 14 MoveQuests per day that can be mined, those MoveQuest tokens are there. And then 4 years later, do another halving, and it'll be 7 MoveQuest token another year. So what we do is we don't burn tokens like your typical projects do, because that just gives an inflated market value. But what we do is we return them back to the vault, so that in the year 2060, they can still be mined by people who are still utilizing this project, which, who knows how many years we'll all be alive, but by doing it this way, it ensures that beyond our lives, people can still be mining these MoveQuest tokens. So once that part is done and you've minted those miners, you now have to plug them in. You plug them into the mining dock, and it also takes the MoveQuest token. So we've removed token from supply. This reduces the supply. That's a big deal. It's not about increasing the supply, which is what happens with a pre-sale. It's about decreasing the supply so that there's always a demand. If you're always going to have too many, too much of a supply, you're always going to have a token that continues to drop in market value. And so while people are minting these miners, you have to remember, we're pulling MoveQuest out of circulation. It can't be sold. It'll never see the light of day until the year 2060. Now you come in, you've minted those miners. Now what do you do with them? You can level them up if you want, or you just plug them into the mining dock. If you want to level them up, which is evolving them, that means you're increasing their mining power. You can go from 50% mining power to 100%. You can go from 100% to 175%, from 175% to 300%. The 300% miner will also begin to increase its mining power up to 1,000%. So getting to that top level miner is a benefit because it serves many purposes in the future. But one thing to remember is that when you're upgrading these miners, when you're evolving them, it's removing all of these previous miners that you've upgraded from. It's taking them out of circulation. So again, we're reducing the supply of the miners, which keeps the demand there. So if you think about step-in, if any of you have heard of that, they would take 2 sneakers and they'd breed a third. Well, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I mean, there you go. You just increased your supply again. So now you've got more sneakers and you've got feet to fill. And so you always want to reduce that supply. And so that's how we reduce the supply of the miners, because you actually, when you get up to that alpha miner, you merge 2 for 1. So for every 1 omega that comes into circulation, we've removed a primary, an ultra, an alpha times 2. So 6 miners are always removed from circulation for every omega that comes into circulation. So that's a good thing. That's something to remember. Now, when you're evolving, it takes USDT. One of the things that you'll never see in a project. Now, you do see them with blockchains, right? Because there's gas fees and, people are spending that money because they use those coins on the blockchains. That's what's feeding that liquidity. Every time you buy or you sell, plus you got the gas fees, it's a self-funding ecosystem. Your projects have to have it too. But see, what happens is all your project creators, we've all been in them. All the money that you spend goes where? Right into their pocket. Millions upon millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And what they expect the community to do is, 1, buy the pre-sale token so that they can have the money to develop the project. We didn't do that. We developed it. There's no whales. There's no investors. There's nothing here. In fact, there's not even 1 token allocated to me, to my development team, to our customer support at all. And you guys can all fact checked me on that by going to the contracts, and you can see for yourself. Not 1 single MoveQuest was given away. They're either mined or they're purchased, period. Nothing from the project is ever given away. The project never sells a MoveQuest token. And that's the other problem that you have with your projects. They get a huge amount of token that's allocated out to them. And then once that price gets up to where they like it, not only have they taken all your pre-sale money, not only have they taken all the money that you've spent on the project once you've been involved in it, but they also wait until you've jacked the price up high enough so they can sell all of their allotted tokens and they can leave with most of the money. And then whatever everybody else was lucky to get. And I'm sorry, but that's just the facts of a lot of these projects. I'm not saying everybody is that way, but these projects that fail so quickly, that is what ends up happening. So when you're evolving these miners, you use USDT. That USDT goes to the exchange, it buys the MoveQuest, it pairs it to the USDT, and it injects it as liquidity. So you're never asked as a community to go create that liquidity pair and inject your liquidity. That's a huge mistake. And it is, again, the demise of a project. Why? Because who in their right mind is going to leave all of their money sitting in a liquidity pool just so you can make a few $100s in transaction fee rewards? So nobody ever leaves that liquidity there. They pull their liquidity. And the first time the large, liquidity provider pulls it out, so does everybody else. It's a domino effect. They just start pulling it. Then the community freaks out. And what do? They start selling the token because they know that it looks like it's done. Rug pulls, liquidity pulls, project sold all those tokens. So no allocation of tokens. When you upgrade your miners, you're upgrading those miners for a reason. You're upgrading them because you want more mining power with the expectation that you're going to mine more tokens and receive higher rewards. Well, If that money that you're spending to upgrade those miners is not used as liquidity, you would never have that increased value to you for buying and upgrading those miners. So that becomes the liquidity. Then you have to plug them into the mining dock. That also takes MoveQuest. All of that MoveQuest is used for liquidity. Every day you have to submit that proof of physical activity to the blockchain. There's an in-app fee for that. Every time you're pushing a button and there's an in-app fee, you are providing liquidity. You're stabilizing the market. The community is providing liquidity, but they're providing it through the ecosystem. When you claim your tokens, it provides liquidity. When you create a challenge, when you join a challenge, when you create an event, when you join an event, any fee that's involved in that, it's liquidity. For the challenges, people who create those, you're able to charge an entry fee and you're able to award prizes. The smart contract manages the whole thing. And the project gets a percentage of that to go to liquidity. So let's say you were charging 20 bucks. Maybe you had X amount of people that, joined your challenge, and maybe you collected a couple $1,000 and you were going to give away 1,000 of it for placement prices. And that means you profited 1,000. Well, the project gets a percentage of that and it's liquidity. So every time the community is making money, you're also providing liquidity through the ecosystem of the project. Then we have the leasing of the miners. This is your digital real estate. Remember how I said we remove these miners out of circulation? Right now, the lower level miners only cost $50 to mint. But when there's 100,000 miners that are mining, that becomes an elastic price at that point. So let's say that when that 100,000th miner is plugged in, MoveQuest is, I don't know, let's say it's $500. And if MoveQuest is at, I'm going to do easy math, 1 MoveQuest, right? And the token goes up to $500. That means that minting of that miner will cost 500, not 50. Now what happens, and every time the price keeps going up, those miners get more expensive. The evolving gets more expensive. The submissions get more expensive. The mining dock gets more expensive because the market value is high. There's a demand for this platform, for this project, for those miners to evolve, to get to the highest powered one. All of you who are holding miners that you're not using, you can now lease them out. You can charge a rental fee for those. And so you will plug them into what's called a global dock. And anybody who can't afford to mint those miners can still benefit from mining, because those of you in the community who have that digital real estate, you're plugging them in, and all they have to do is connect their wallet and stake to your miner, and you set the fees on those. And everything is managed by smart contract. Everything is paid in real time. If I walked away from this today, literally, it does not need me to operate. It just does everything on chain, all managed through smart contracts. So what I want to do next, I'm going to shut off my video just because sometimes my internet gets a little bit wonky on me, but I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you a few things, because a lot of people are having a hard time understanding how this token is sustaining itself and how can it continue to go up. So when you look at this token right here, and everybody sees it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. One of the benefits of the community providing the liquidity through the ecosystem is that it's always going in and it's never coming out. Okay. So even when you see some corrective measures that go on, let's say somebody oversells, right? The evolution contract will remove, let's say it might be $50,000. Okay. But it's only so it can get that extra MoveQuest out of circulation, because it banks it. It banks it for when there's a demand for it. But then what it always does is it goes and buys more of the MoveQuest, and it will add double the liquidity. So it never removes anything and leaves it in a deficit. It always will increase it or enhance it or stabilize it even more than what it was before. And so that's a market maker corrective measure that's built into the algorithm of this project. So I want to show you here a couple of things. For one, I want to talk about this FDV, 1.44 billion. A lot of people are freaking out about that, and I don't blame you really, unless you understood how it works. So we've already submitted our application to let me get rid of this, to Coin Market Cap, right? But Coin Market Cap, until they approve it, they really don't know what's circulating. We have to tell them, what's in circulation. So they're looking at the total supply is 21 million. So that's what the FDV is based on. Now, what I want to show you here is what's actually in the vault. And I believe this is the vault. Nope, this is the airdrop. And this is important too, because I'm going to show you here what the holders are. Here we go. So these are, people will come to the contract, the MoveQuest contract, and they ask, well, what are these? Who's got all of this, MoveQuest? This here is our vault. Okay, there's 20,683,921 MoveQuest in that vault. So 98.49% is not in circulation. And we use the Bitcoin tokenomics, like I was explaining. So right here, this is what goes into circulation. The first year, only 2.3 million, because when we got started, we had a liquidity raise where we had 200,000 MoveQuests that were sold in a 2-week period, just so we had a buyer-seller market. 20,000 were given away in referral commissions for those who helped share that liquidity raise, and then 100,000 was listed with the token. So that's 320,000 that went into circulation on July 22nd. But we have, and so to make up the difference of that, where next year 2.6 million will go into circulation, this year 2.3 million, and divided daily should be 5,447. However, right now only 2,500 are being distributed on a daily basis. And then again, we come back here and you might ask why. If you were to put too much into circulation, then you would see a sell volume that was higher than your buy volume. And so it's based on the community growth. So as the community is growing, as those global shares are increasing, then it will start to add more of those tokens into distribution. So by the end of the year, there'll be more that are going out, but the community will be larger in size. And this makes sure that it's fair, it's stable, and that it's not over diluted. So when you're looking at an FDV, you don't want to take and count these amounts. This here, that's the safe. And that FDV includes these. This here is the liquidity pool. So if you look at the liquidity pool, let me get out of here. There is 23,204 MoveQuest in the pool. Okay, so if you come back over here to this contract, that's the 23,000. This is the liquidity pool. This here is the wallet that's connected to the Evolution contract. This is the MoveQuest that the Evolution contract has purchased, but has not paired to USDT yet to add as liquidity. So you might ask me, well, why is that? Well, you have to look here too. So the algorithm knows, okay, based on trends and what resistance points there are when it needs that MoveQuest. It wants to buy the MoveQuest as low as possible. Okay, it doesn't want to buy it as much of it when it's up in the, thousands of dollars, which it will get there. So right now its focus is buy as much of that MoveQuest and add the liquidity at those resistance points when it needs to do some corrective measures and stabilize that market. So what it's doing is it's banking that MoveQuest. So if you think about this right now, when you add liquidity, you add equal market value. So for every one MoveQuest, it needs 68.91 USDT. Now, when MoveQuest is $1,000, for one MoveQuest, it will need 1,000 USDT. So if you could imagine, it's going to really add more value to the liquidity pool by banking that MoveQuest at $68 to add as liquidity as the market value of this token begins to increase. And so when you come and you see this on the token list here of holders, that's what this is. This can never be sold. This belongs to the Evolution contract for the liquidity pool. This here is the daily distribution. So every week you'll see until it goes up to the full amount that's in distribution every day, then it's just automated. But right now, 17,500 MoveQuest each week goes into this airdrop. That's the distribution. That's where the daily distribution of 2,500 MoveQuest that's distributed comes from. So that's what this is. Now, from here down, these are all wallets. And I can tell you, as a creator of this project, I am not holding the highest amount of tokens. Okay, this is not my wallet. I don't even know who these people are. This is my wallet that holds tokens. And I, because everybody thinks, oh yeah, well, how many did she get? Well, I didn't get any. I either buy them or I mine them. That's what I hold as the project creator. I am not even the top holder of these move quests, but I do make sure that I buy some every day because obviously I know what this project can do, what it's capable of doing. So I'm always buying them, but I didn't get any tokens allotted. So I just kind of wanted to explain that to everybody. So now I'm going to come back to another spreadsheet because I want you guys to understand the dynamics of this calculator. So right now, this is what is held in those contracts, 41,280 move quest. That means that the community is holding 274,799 move quest. This is what is in the mining doc. Okay, that goes to liquidity. This is what's in the comp plan. That goes back. Well, some of this could go to other users too. So the project only gets the net amount that isn't, allotted for the community who has those commissions coming. It's in the same smart contract. So when the project gets it and returns it back to the vault, it's coming from what this amount is here. This is what was in the evolution contract, although some people have claimed, so it's less than that right now. Oh no, evolution, that's that wallet that ends in C06, sorry. And then this is the airdrop. This is where that daily distribution comes from. So the actual liquidity in the pool, so 23,201 move plus, that's the USDT. That's where you get that market value of the token. The actual FDV is 15 million. That's a far cry from what you see when you look at this DEX exchange where it says it's 1.4 billion. So I think that's important that people understand how that works. And once CoinMarketCap approves our application, then this will all be corrected and it'll actually show what that circulating supply is. So I know I'm probably going over a little bit of numbers, but a lot of people want to know, how does this stabilize itself? When you come in, I'm just going to show you here. Everybody gets started minting the miners. If you want the 7 Omegas, you would need to start with 14 Lennies. So I'm just going to put this at 10 real quick. But basically what this is telling you is that if you did start with the 14 Lennies, it's going to cost $700. 60% of that is paid out in commission. And then $280 of that move quest is returned back to the vault. Now, this is based on what we listed the move quest at. So I'm going to fix those values to what they actually are. Oh, let me move this back over so you guys can see it. I'm just going to walk you through how this works really quickly and then I'll be done. I won't bore you guys anymore. Take these values, come back over here. Oh, where am I at? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. I just need one. Come back over here. We're going to paste that here. We're going to come over here and get this one. What am I doing? I think I hid something here. Hold on, guys. I did. I hid my... Okay, that's what I did wrong. Sorry about that. I hide these columns so that everybody can doesn't get lost in all my crazy numbers. So let me... All right, there's where I need to put that value. So there's that for the move quest. Sorry, guys, I apologize. 23,201. Okay, so that puts us at about 68.97. Okay, for the market value of the token. Now, when people come in, I figure everybody's going to sell all of their tokens. 100%. Nobody is ever going to hold their tokens. And so if that is the case, this is showing you that those 10 move quests are being removed from the pool and they're selling. So this is reflecting 100% of the sales. So when you come down and you look at where we're at today, when 1,900 more people come into this community and they mint those 14 Lennies, it is going to drive the market value up to around $231, even if everybody sells their move requests from their commissions. It's going to do that. Now, what happens next is, are they going to evolve those miners? If they evolve the miners, it's $30, which it's increasing to 50 here. It was already supposed to be done that way, but because of the holiday, I've held off on having the increase go into effect. So the algorithm will tell us when these prices need to increase based on the market value of the token. And so it already triggered for this one to go up to 50. It didn't trigger for this one to go higher, but it did trigger for Lenny to be higher, Lenny to primary. So Lenny's are still 50, but to evolve to a primary, it would be $50 here. It'll be in the next couple of days when we do that. But that would cost $420, okay, to mint and evolve up to a primary, 14 of them. And then if you evolve to an ultra, and if you evolve to an alpha, and then you merge to the omega, it's bringing in that USDT, where it's buying the USDT, the MoveQuest, and then it's pairing it to the USDT, and it's adding it back to the pool. So here, where the market value started out at 68.97, the commissions are sold, the evolution takes place, it still stabilizes it at 69.08. So it's not, what it's doing is, as people are selling, but they're evolving, it's constantly adding in that liquidity to that pool so that it can stabilize that market. So every time somebody's evolving, it's buying or it's injecting liquidity or it's doing both. Then when you plug in the miners into the mining dock, it's taking that MoveQuest, it's buying, taking 50%, it goes and gets more MoveQuest, or it takes from the submissions, which is AVAX, it sells for, converts the AVAX into MoveQuest or into USDT. And all of this is all liquidity. So it's constantly stabilizing. Your daily submissions, when you submit that, this is where what I think is the major stabilizer of this project. And I have to come over here to this one because this is where I have it at. And this is based on when the token was back at $46, which I think was, I don't know, a week or so ago. And so here we're going to look at 14,250 people who are coming in. The market value of that token would be roughly around $4,905, $95, $4,945. And I know it sounds crazy, guys, but that's just the way these tokenomics are designed. The supply and the demand, the use case, the removal of the token so that it doesn't get oversaturated, the injection of the liquidity, it's a stabilizer. Everybody who is here in this project, if you are spending your money to be able to be a part of this project and become more healthy, mint those miners, submit that proof of physical activity, the money stays with the project. There are only a couple of areas where the project gets 10%. And only a couple of areas where it gets 20%, and it never gets any tokens. It only gets a percentage of the AVAX from the submission and the claims, and it gets a 10% percentage of the evolution for purposes of development, marketing, any other class that we have, anything that has to take place. So overall, 90% stays with the community. I mine just like you guys do. Everything is the same for me as it is for you. And this way, this project stays stable. The money stays with the project. If I did this right, which I did, I will make plenty of money, and so will everybody else. How much money can one person spend in a lifetime that they have to take it all from a project? And so with the submissions, when we have just 14,250 people, let's say not one single person ever comes into this project and mints another miner. At this point, you're looking at a token that's at 4,900, and I don't know what the cost will be to submit because the algorithm will tell us what it needs to do, to be stable, but it's never what it costs a person. Like, a person is always making so much more than what that submission is. And if you're mining with 7 miners every day, that's adding 1.4 million to the pool, but it's also buying from that 1.4 million, 748,000 of the MoveQuest, because it's got to pair it to this amount. And so it ends up adding 2.2 million. And in 1 year, $819 million to the liquidity pool. That's just everybody submitting their proof of physical activity and not doing anything else. Not another person is coming in, so it's not getting diluted. It's just the same community. So it doesn't rely on new people coming in for this project to stabilize itself. It's all of the inner workings within the ecosystem that has these fees that go into that liquidity. One, nobody can pull that liquidity, and no rug pulls, there's no whales, nobody's got any allotment of tokens. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of a higher number here. And just so you guys have an idea of what it looks like when it's a little bit higher. That would be 23,000 people. You're looking at a token that's, we're climbing into the Bitcoin area when Bitcoin was here for what, about 8 years. At this point, the submission fees might be $20. And now you're looking at 1.8 billion every year that's added to that liquidity. And so depending on the size of the community and those different fees that are covered here, that's why you get that submission and all that stuff there.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody's got any questions for me. I can't tell if somebody's out here in my deck or not. I live like it's really quiet and dark out here, so I'm gonna turn my light on. It's kind of got me freaked out a little bit. Okay, sorry about that. But anyway, does anybody, I know, did I go over way too much? You guys, I talk so much during the day about this project. Sometimes I lose focus on what I'm supposed to be sharing.
Thank you very much.
Question
And-
for
Yeah, who wants?
how do we every time someone joins it forces the price higher? What are we basing that number on? And is there a limit how many miners we're gonna make? Are we gonna say after 100,000 miners, no more miners, or it's not gonna limit how many
No.
miners?
So there's never going to be a time where we say nobody can mint a miner because we're always removing miners from supply. Every time somebody evolves, we're removing those miners out of circulation. And so we're always decreasing the supply. For every 1 omega that comes into circulation, 6, 2 Lennies, 2 primaries, 2 ultras, and 2 alphas. So actually, yeah, 8 miners are removed. So for every 1 omega, 8 miners come out of circulation. So we're always decreasing the supply so that the demand for those miners is always there.
So, and how are we getting the number that it's gonna be worth when 1,000 people join this price, 10,000 that price, 100,000 that price? Are we estimating?
We know how many go into distribution every day, and we base it on if the community was this size and if they minted 14 miners. So if X amount of people come in and they mint 14 miners, they have to go to the exchange and buy the move quest. And so that's what drives the market value up. And then if the commissions that everybody earned are sold, we figure that 100% are selling. So we deduct the move quest and we add the move quest into the liquidity pool on the spreadsheet. We deduct the USDT so we can get what that market value is. And then if they evolve, we know what it costs to evolve. And so we know what that injection is that goes into the liquidity pool. We know based on a number of, whatever the number is in the community, if what they're submitting every day, what that submission fee is. So we know what goes into the liquidity to stabilize that market. We know if they're claiming what goes into liquidity, if they're creating challenges, if they're leasing out their miners, if they're going through the arenas to get to the Hall of Fame, if they're, all of these, if they're buying, mystery boxes or boosts for their miners or anything like that, all of that goes into liquidity. So we can base it on the size of the community, knowing that the community has to go and purchase that move quest before they can mint the miner, because you have to use the move quest.
We could surpass Bitcoin in a year or two. Market cap.
Yes. Yep. Well, I don't know about their market cap because Bitcoin's been here a long time. They've got they're in the $1 trillion market cap. We'll definitely be in the billions, but I don't know that we'll quite hit the that trillion mark. But we also don't have the amount of move quest in circulation that Bitcoin has. They almost have their 21 million in circulation. We won't have our 21 million in circulation until the year 2059. So honestly, move quest could actually be double what Bitcoin is in a few. I don't even think it'll take us a year, honestly, if this goes like it's been going. If we keep this pace, but it's going to be insane. But it's going to change people's lives. It's stable and it provides its own liquidity based on the community's use of it. And so that when you get involved in this project, the money that you're spending stays with the project so that it provides that value. I'm not running off with your money.
So there's not possible for anyone to be a whale and open a whole factory of miners. Everyone's one miner per person.
No, because there'll always never be enough miners. So the demand, the reason we remove so many miners out of circulation is because we know they're going to be too expensive for people to mint them in the future. And it provides additional revenue for those people who have those miners to be able to lease them out so that people can still afford to be a part of the project when they can't afford to mint the miners. So basically what we're doing is we're creating that demand for those miners so that the community can lease them out and still make it affordable to other people. Your miners become very valuable in the future because they will become extremely expensive.
Let's say in a year from now, someone wants to sell his miner. Someone gets handicapped, they can't walk anywhere. They want to sell their miner.
They
Is
can
that
do that. They can sell them. They can also still lease them out because when you lease them out, it's you're leasing them, you're renting them to somebody else to use with their proof of physical activity. So they submit their proof of physical activity and the smart contract sends you your leasing fee and sends them the tokens that they mined. And so even if a person, becomes incapacitated and they can't walk or whatever, we do have things like, so somebody's in a wheelchair. If they say in their health tracker that they're wheelchair bound, it will convert the distance that they took in their wheelchair into steps as well. And so it does allow that, for that. But we will have a marketplace where you'll be able to buy, sell, and trade your miners and even auction them off if you wanted to auction it.
for 3 months, technically. They can rent it out while they recover.
Yep, they can run them out and you are the owner of that miner. So if somebody, let's say, is leasing your miner, but they're not submitting on a daily basis, and you want to call that miner back, you can cancel that contract and pull it back and put it back on the market for somebody else to lease. So you always stay in control of your miner. The person who's renting it does not.
Okay, let's go to the next one. David, you have a question?
I actually have a few questions. So, but the leasing, is that all going to be done through the app or through the website?
That's a good question because they're just finishing up the leasing piece right now. And I do believe that you'll be able to do it through the app. So it has its own dock for the leasing, but you'll still be able to access it on the Web3 just like you do, for your own personal dock. So it can be done on the website or the app. I just have not, we're getting ready. We're moving into our new app here in the next couple of weeks and I haven't seen it yet. I'm anxiously waiting to see exactly how all that's going to work. But I'm assuming because right now we can use the Web3 or the app that we'll be able to do the same with the leasing because essentially it's the same. It's just a different contract that's, where you are putting it on the market for somebody else to connect to it. It
And
just
you
gives
move
you
that into
control.
somebody's MetaMask wallet?
Any DApp wallet, but like I prefer MetaMask because to me it's easy to use, but that's not the only, as long as it's a DApp wallet and it
But you
can
move
put
it-
the
you move
avalanche
that
on it, works.
leased miner into somebody else's for a certain period of time, and then there's some sort of transaction, a payment that will go into your MetaMask wallet or your wallet. Is that how it works?
Yep. So what you'll do is you'll stake it to lease it basically on the marketplace. It's all done in a smart contract. Let's say you're going to lease it. I want to use it. Now all I do is connect my wallet. I pick your miner. I connect my wallet to it. And then you have to, you'll agree to it. So as soon as somebody connects, you approve it. Then their proof of physical activity is mining the tokens and you're going to charge them a fee. Maybe it's a percentage of what they're mining. Maybe it's just a set fee. You're the owner of that miner. You determine what that's going to be. It also keeps it competitive with the other people who are leasing them. Everybody's going to want to keep their rental fees at a competitive rate, or you might not get picked as soon as somebody else would, for their miner. When
So,
that
but like-
person who is leasing it, they submit that proof of physical activity and the smart contract pays you and them.
So like, let's say for instance, the person, he submits his activity, and then I say, well, listen, I'm going to give you 30% of whatever you, or let's say 50% of what you mined, what you submitted is going to go to you, and then 50% is going to go to me.
Yep.
Is that
And the
something
smart
like that?
contract does it all.
Uh-huh. Now,
So you never, all you do is list it, they connect, and then once they submit, you're the one who claims, right? So when they submit, you claim and boom, it sends the tokens to both people. They claim theirs, you claim yours, you're done.
I
And they
just
can
love it.
keep using it or not.
I love it. I love it. Now, let me ask you this. So, I understand that the rebranding is going to take place somewhere between the 15th and the end of the month.
Yes,
Now, when that happens, a lot of features that don't exist today will suddenly be available.
we'll be there. Correct.
And
You'll
when
be able to
that
create
happens,
challenges, all that good stuff.
I love it. And when that
Mhm.
happens, that's going to seriously drive up the price
Yes.
of this token,
Yes.
because there'll be so many more opportunities to utilize it.
Yep. And like I said, again, every time somebody creates a challenge, joins a challenge, when they win, anything like that, it's providing that liquidity. So there's many features in this app that just constantly push liquidity, always push liquidity. And the one good thing, is that that there is no tokens being sold from this project. So there was, like I said, no allocation of tokens. So you never have to worry about the project bringing the market value down. The project will only bring the market value up.
And is there anything else out there which is even remotely similar to what we're
No.
doing over here? Is this like
There's nothing on this planet that's done this. Nothing. We're the only one who's created this. There's nothing out there on the market like us. We're the first.
Is this the only like token launch that didn't have like a large pre-sale, and they
Yeah.
seriously limited their circulation of token like you did?
There isn't a project out there that's done this. And just so everybody knows too, like we're going up on 6 more blockchains, and we won't even do a liquidity raise for those. They will just be listed like this MoveQuest was on Avalanche, 100,000 MoveQuest with $100,000. So they'll all start at $1, and there won't be a single one in a wallet. And so it'll just be those who buy it, and it'll drive the market up from there.
People will be able to buy the token on other exchanges when it
On other
launches,
chains.
on other chains,
Yeah.
and they'll be able to actually physically just buy those tokens. They don't not mine them, but buy them.
Yeah, you can buy them now
Yeah.
also.
You can buy them now.
Yeah, on
You
the
can-
Avalanche.
You can buy them.
So that's what yep, right here, they're on Uniswap. I'll share so when we launch on the other chains, we won't have a liquidity raise. We'll just add it, because part of the profit that comes in that's put aside is also set aside to launch the additional chains. So right here, it's on Uniswap. So you would buy it on Uniswap right here. Whatever the market value is.
Hey,
So when
Lynette,
we
just let
list
you
on the
know,
other
there's-
chains,
Yeah,
yeah,
2
we
minutes.
won't even do a liquidity raise. See, it's already at $69. Holy moly. It even
Where?
blows my mind sometimes.
Which exchange?
It's on Uniswap.
Will it soon
So-
be on
Will it
Binance or something?
I don't know that we'll go. I can be a few minutes late to that one, you guys, just because they won't get started right away. But let's see, if you come to our website, this is the MoveQuest on the Avalanche chain. So that will get you there. I will not pay to go up on a centralized exchange because it serves no purpose. The only thing it does is cost the project a lot of money, because they always want X amount of tokens and they want an outrageous amount to list it. This token is doing good enough. The community will be large enough that they will organically list it anyway. They don't need my permission. So
they're
we'll
pretty
get
much
there
showing
when
it
we're
now.
supposed to get there, but we're not going to pay to get there.
Shoot, we're like the #1 trending coin on
Yeah.
coin market cap on the pairs there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not even, they haven't even approved our application yet. I just sent it in a couple of, I don't know, maybe, I don't even know if it's been a week yet. And so if you look here, we're the #1 trending, and we're the #2 top gainer, but we've held the top gainer #1 spot, I think, almost consistently for
Yeah.
what, 2.5 weeks, Mike?
Yep, 100%. And they're doing the marketing. They're doing the marketing for us. A lot of people look for
Yeah.
the trending coins, the #1 gainers, because the people that go to Coin Market Cap, that's what they're doing. They're trying to look for the coins to invest in and all this stuff. And they're like, hey, what the heck's going on with this coin? What is MoveQuest? It just kind of brings
Mhm.
awareness to us.
Yeah, when we
But-
started out, you can see here, we listed on July 22nd. Oh, right there it is. Okay. We listed on July 22nd. Where's that? Right there. And we listed at $1. And so if you come up here, you know, you can see where it took a little bit. You know, you get people that were just kind of selling it because they're still not sure about it, you know, and then all of a sudden this puppy just took off and it was all she wrote and it just ain't stopped.
So, but on these other exchanges, when you list them, people can buy and sell them, but will people be able to mine them? Like we're mining right now on the Avalanche chain.
Yep.
So they can mine them on those other exchanges as well?
Well, they'll be on a different chain, so they'll have a different contract address. So basically your proof of physical activity could be mining on 8 different chains, making the same amount of money because it's got the same ecosystem, the same tokenomics, it's just a different token. So as we go up,
your smartwatch could be mining in multiple exchanges, this MoonQuest
and multiple chains
token on different exchanges at the same time. So
Yeah, you buy the miners on
each
each.
3, 4, or 5 times
See this?
limited to what right now.
Yeah, these different chains are beyond just you do the work. You say 20,000 steps today. You go to the Binance chain, submit. Go to the Avalanche chain, submit, and whatever else we're on. One proof of work that day could earn you on several different chains.
So why wouldn't everybody do that right now?
Yeah.
well, we aren't on the other chains yet. So we're beyond Base, we'll be on Solana, we'll be on Polygon, we'll be on Arbitrum, Blast, and what was the other one?
Yeah, Dave, we're super early. We're starting here on the
we've only started,
and then we're gonna.
So we were on the Binance Smart Chain for 3 years. So we've been developing this for 3 years. And the Binance Smart Chain, you know, because when we had all our beta testers there, because like I said, nobody's ever done this. There's over 1.5 million lines of code for this project. It's extremely complex to keep it all on chain, to have it all managed by smart contracts. Our servers cost less than $25 a month. That's just how on chain it is, literally. It's completely, you know, decentralized. And so we didn't have all the pieces in play with our beta testers. They were mining for those 3 years. So it's an over diluted market over there on the smart chain, which we're correcting. And then that will be like avalanches. And so will all the other chains. But, you know, 3 years of beta testing on the Binance Smart Chain didn't do it any favors as far as the token value goes, but it did a world of favors as far as our platform and our project and the contracts and, you know, building all of this in. We own the code 1000%. I only let one developer ever touch this code. It doesn't mean that there's not other people working, but they never get access to the code. They hand the code to him and he makes sure it's clean and then it's migrated, because I will never let anybody touch this puppy. Like, it is so clean and it's so good. You know what I mean? I don't want any malicious activity going on, any back doors open. There's no third-party systems. We use no third-party systems. Everything is 100% our code. So we took the 3 years that we needed. No investors. There's nothing like that here. And when it was ready to go, we launched it on the Avalanche chain for the demonstration, the proof of concept, and here we are. And it's running like a greased wheel.
Going to the moon.
Going to the moon and beyond.
Bitcoin
will make it to the moon. We're going beyond the moon.
Yeah.
Will we be notified when it's going to say go?
Oh yeah.
To the next
on other exchanges or?
Yep. As soon as we go on to a new chain, you'll know. And also, so everybody beware. Somebody the scammers come out of the woodwork. We are not on the Solana chain. So if you see the move quest on the Solana chain, my lawyers are in the process already, cease desist letters, taking all this crap down. Somebody has created this token. They're claiming that it's move quest on our platform. It is not. It's a scam. Stay away from it. It has nothing to do with our project. It'll be down in the next day or two. They're working diligently to get this stuff all cleaned up. But so stay away from that if you do see it. It's all bogus. We're only on MoveQuest. It's only on Avalanche. But when we're ready to go to Solana, Polygon, Base, Blast, all those ones, we will always, 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 always notify the community first, well in advance. You'll always know first.
Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
I'm sure most of the people here didn't understand half. We need to
I
make
would say
like
more than
classes.
that.
Maybe we should organize like classes once a week to start explaining what is liquidity, what is everything, people should understand how this works, because the more you look into it, it's unbelievable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We have any testimonials at all? Is Joey, are you online here? Joey Levy?
Joey's here.
Would you like to, yeah, I know you started a good what, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah. How many current members are there in the program?
You know, that's the best part. I was gonna show you guys all that tonight too, but not many. So, you know, you have to submit that proof of physical activity within 48 hours. This is the last completed round, so that's 2,081 wallets that are submitting, so roughly 2,081 people.
So we can check it every
Um,
day, how many people are submitting.
Yep, you can.
Oh.
This is actually on my panel, but I can make it available so that people can see it. I'll have the developers add it, and you can also see, this is the amount of miners that are in the mining docks. So there's
Mhm.
12,300 and some miners that are mining right now. This is how many Lennies are mining, how many primaries are mining, ultras, alphas, and omegas that are in those mining docks mining currently.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
And the price is where it is with that little amount of people,
wow.
And that's because everything stays with the project. That's what people need to understand. Like when you're spending that money, when you're minting, when you're evolving, when you're plugging it into the mining dock, when you're submitting, when you're claiming, all these things that you do, that's what provides the liquidity. If I was your typical project creator, this pool, I guarantee you, wouldn't have nowhere near that. It might have 200,000, but it sure wouldn't have no 3.2 million. This is what the creators of these projects take from the community. We don't. We leave it with the community. Why? Because I'm mining too. I'm buying them as well. And you know what? The more this liquidity goes, the more money I'm making too. So why wouldn't you leave it in there and let everybody make money? That's what crypto's supposed to be about. So it stays with the project, and that way everybody can, and they're making crazy money. Like it's something right now. Like the average person, if you're mining with one of the, whoops, that's the wrong one.
Mega.
If you're mining with 7 Omegas, you're getting about 8 million mining shares. If you're maxing out, you're making at the current market value of the token about $6,900 a month. That's just doing what you're already doing anyway.
It's
So it
amazing.
takes you less than a month to make your money back from minting the miners. And now
This
it's
is-
just,
It's as if the coins don't go up.
That's if the coins don't go up. Yeah, yeah.
It's stable.
yeah, that's if the coin don't go up. Let's say it does
Wow.
go up, now it increases up to the 10,000. This is with the 2,500 move cost, but let's say we just move it up to 3,000. Okay, it just makes you more money, but it still ain't nothing, at the 2,500. And this is with the mining, this is global mining shares. So this is the entire community has submitted 5,985,000,000 shares, right? Proof of physical activity shares. But this would be your individual shares. So this is what each share would be worth of MoveQuest. So you would have mined about 3.3 MoveQuests. So that's mining about $230 a day, 1,600 a week, 6,900 a month.
Wow.
And even if, as the price goes up, you see the amount of MoveQuest you're mining goes down, but the amount of money that you're making increases.
Wow.
It's incredible.
This is unbelievable. The only thing that we need is more training. When can we get training to understand each step? I want to be able to give over a presentation like you.
I will do my best.
So when
I
does
have
the
been working on videos. I told Mike, I actually went through and created a video where I explain all of these pieces, and I was editing it. And then when that fraudulent MoveQuest thing came up, claiming it was a part of our project, I've spent all day working to get that all taken down and trademarking everything and getting everything copyrighted. I've spent all day on this to get all that handled so that we could get all that stuff down. So I'm going to finish editing that. And then that explains a lot of the mechanics behind this. So I'll make that available too for people. They can watch it even a couple of times. But you are right. People do need to learn. We do need to do some explaining of this, because I think if people really understand how crypto works, they won't get taken in by all them scams, because they understand what it takes
Right.
for crypto to really.
And also,
work.
if we can get like access to the stats, it will be really
Yeah, I'm going to ask the developers to make that available to people so that you guys can see that, because that's important to see. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. You know what I mean?
It will make it more decentralized.
100%. I mean, you can get all that information on the smart contracts anyway, because it's on the chain, but it is a lot easier if we just make it available for you. So you can click a calculate button and boom, it'll start making those
Right.
calls. That's why it's sitting there for me, because I didn't like going to the contracts and having to find all this information and add it up. I'm like, put it on the dashboard for me, please. You know, but yeah. So I'm
Wow.
gonna hop in that other Zoom, you guys. If you have any
Yeah.
questions or you need me to come back, I'm more than happy to do so.
Maybe, Brian, do you have the link from the other Zoom?
Yes,
Maybe-
I'll drop it in the chat right now.
Drop it in the chat, and if you, or you can send me a WhatsApp and I'll post it to my group. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
Yep,
you.
we'll see
Thank you
ya.
so much.
Thank you guys, Manny, Yoshi.
Thank you so
Good to
much.
see
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, join the momentum.
Let me copy the link. Oops. I'll share it.
So we have Zooms at 2:00 p.m. Eastern and at 9:00 p.m. Eastern, almost every single day besides Saturday and Sunday. And Lynette gets on there probably once a week and kind of goes into major detail, what she just did with you guys. And normally it's not that in detail, but if you understand what she's saying, it's almost mind blowing that we have access to this, especially with a creator of it that's in the United States that shows her face, that explains everything about how it works in the background. You know, normally it's not like that. So, and I'm here. I'm gonna give Manny and Yossi my schedule where I'll sit and help onboard people from day in, day out. I just take about a 3-hour break to hang out with my 3 kids and you know, go crazy and then get back on helping people go. Cause I mean, timing is everything right now. You know, when I first started, I didn't share this for the first 9 days. When I started August 2nd till August 11th, I made 253 move requests myself on my own activities, which then it was worth $744. Now that's worth about $17,500 because I held it. You know, I've made over $100,000 in the past 30 days, way over $100,000 on my own because
Almost
I was
200.
yeah, almost 200. I was just an early adapter to this. So, I mean, everybody's early right now. There's no getting in this late because the coin's at $60. You're minting it. You're mining it. You know, what I suggest is get with the person that invited you and get up to Omega so you earn the most. If you don't have 4,200 to do that, at least get 7 alphas and get going.
Okay,
You
and
know?
also another question. Let's say if someone has a few extra dollars, does it pay to buy a few more miners just in case when they're gonna be able to start leasing? They should be
Yeah,
able to do
I bought a lot of extra ones. I've actually involved them over to primaries because I didn't want to pay an extra $20. I'm cheap. But you know, so I bought my Lennies and I evolved them up to primaries because like she said, we'll be able to lease them later. It's gonna be untouchable for some people and we can lease them out. You know, like we're at such an early stage of this, and we have some of the biggest network marketing teams coming into this, not just people, like organizations coming over because how fast people are making money. My last 15 days, I just did a Facebook Live, claimed my last 15 days, not including the affiliate side, just my last 15 days, I made $8,200 because the coin just continues to go up. You see someone sell $86,000 worth, the evolution kicks in, that liquidity provision, bam, and it shot right back up. That same guy that bought higher, got less coins. And you know what I mean? So this is just blowing people's minds on how this is working. So it's a no-brainer to come in at Omega because last 15 days I made 8,200. I only spent 4,200 for Omegas. You know, you can have multiple accounts. You just need multiple phones and multiple wrists. Put 2 watches on, one on this wrist and one on the other. It's on my other phone, but have multiple wrists. You know, you can do whatever. We can do this from smartphones. We can do this with wearables. If you sleep and you walk, then this is for you. And this will go viral. And we're lucky to have the chance to be at this such an early stage. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else has any questions? Okay, so I think I'll finish it with this. Thank you very much. Yossi, anything that you want to say? Maybe. Okay. He's gone. Okay. Good night, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.